Now let's discuss that how all this X-ray production, its origin, its analysis have been used by Moseley. Moseley ने actually इस X-ray production को use किया in order to determine the atomic number. That was his main objective. In his research, he studied 38 different elements as the target in the X-ray tube. He studied the elements from aluminium to gold. Actually, he studied a range of wavelength from 0.04 to 8 angstrom. This was the range of the wavelength which he studied. And he formulated the Moseley law. So the Moseley law is stated as the frequency of a spectral line in the X-ray spectrum varies as the square of the atomic number of an element emitting it. हम Moseley law को कुछ इस तरह शो कर सकते हैं. That is, the square root of the frequency is equals to A C minus B. Whereas this A is the proportionality constant and B is the screening constant. Whereas this Z, as we all know, is the atomic number. So from this, an important conclusion was made that it is actually the atomic number which is the characteristic of each element. Therefore, the frequency of the X-rays depends upon the atomic number of the heavy metal anode used as the target. Or we can say that every metal has its own characteristic X-rays. So, the shorter wavelengths are identified by the K series, whereas the longer wavelength X-rays are identified by the L series. Now, secondly, we can also relate it with the Planck's quantum theory in the form that if the target element is of higher atomic number, then the wavelength of the X-rays produced becomes shorter. यानी जो हम अपनी heavy metal anode use कर रहे हैं, अगर उसका atomic number ज़्यादा है, then the wavelength of the X-ray produced will become shorter. जो कि हम Planck's quantum theory से भी prove कर सकते हैं, as we know that the wavelength and the frequency are inversely related to each other. So as a conclusion, we can say that this law convinces us that the atomic number is the fundamental property of an element on which the physical and chemical properties are based. याद रहे that these properties are not based on the atomic masses, they are based on the atomic number. So finally, discussing the importance of Moseley law, Moseley arranged many elements in a proper way in the Mendeleev's periodic table, such as he arranged potassium and argon, nickel and cobalt, tellurium and iodine in a proper way in the Mendeleev's periodic table. Actually, we have proved by the Moseley's law that the main characteristic of an element is its atomic number, not its atomic mass. So, as atomic number is the characteristic of an element, it helped Moseley to arrange the elements in a proper way. Apart from that, it also led to the discovery of many new elements, such as technetium with an atomic number 43, praseodymium with an atomic number 59, and rhodium with an atomic number 45. These were some of the new elements whose discovery was a result of the Moseley law. And lastly, the atomic number of the rare earths have been determined by this law.